In this video, I'm going to break down and rank every single one of the 20 primary characters within Star Wars Shatterpoint. Hey guys, Rich from Rich Big Gaming. Hope everyone is doing fantastically well. Welcome to this, another Star Wars Shatterpoint video. And this video was requested by a couple of you out there on the original one that we did probably 6 or 8 months ago now, where we ranked all of the primary characters. I think back then there may have only been 7 or 8 that had been released. Now we have 20 at our disposal. So I thought it was a good time to reevaluate each of the primary characters. Now, how we're going to evaluate them? Well, there's really going to be sort of 3 main things that I suppose 4 main things that I am looking at. First of all, I'm going to be looking at the actual character themselves. What do they bring? What do they do? And then as I suppose secondary one is their actual leadership. How well does it help everybody around them? Are they a solo agent where they can just slot into any team, which may actually put them up a little bit higher? Or do they have a leadership that is just a little bit underwhelming? Then I'm going to take a look at the Longshanks rankings. Now, this is not by any means the best way of evaluating whether characters are good or bad. I think even characters with a low win rate in a good player's hand can do really, really good things. And I think some of the characters, especially from the core box, maybe suffer from that of newer players just coming in and learning the game. But it's a good reference for us and something that we should take a look at. And then lastly, and I suppose more importantly and kind of overriding everything else, it's just my personal opinion. And that's what these are, guys. They are my personal opinions. They're going to be biased towards my own personal play style. So if you do get upset that I ranked your favourite character in the game a D when you think they should be an S tier, then it's just my personal opinion. But do let me know down in the comment section below if you indeed do agree or disagree. So with all that being said, with all that's been done, let's jump over and take a look at the rankings and who we're going to go through and how we're going to do it. Okay guys, so here is our tier list using the normal ranking of S through D. S are going to be absolutely exceptional when you think about playing a particular faction, because that's the way that we're going to break these down is into factions. And what do I mean by that? I mean like the Galactic Republic, the Separatists, the Dathomirians, Mandalorians, so on and so forth. But when you think of playing that, they are the first one that pops into mind. They're kind of the backbone of make that affiliation or faction work. A tier are going to be really, really good. Maybe they're just not quite the backbone, or their cards, everything else they do just isn't quite as good, but they've got a really good leadership that everybody else benefits from. B tier is going to be perfectly serviceable, absolutely fine, nothing wrong with them, really good solid character. C tier is going to be okay, there's nothing wrong with them, but within the given faction or affiliation, let's say, it may be that there are some better options out there that are the same, that bring the same squad points with them, or it just may be that I just don't think they're quite good enough to be up in that B tier. And lastly is going to be D tier, which for me is going to be do not touch, because I do not think they are good enough to play right now in the game. And it may be that it's not necessarily their card that's bad. It may be that they just don't have enough other releases within their given faction to benefit from that card. And with lots of upcoming releases, that could change very, very quickly indeed. Okay, so with all that said and done, let's start off with by far the biggest faction in the game, or at least the biggest keyword or tag that has the most primaries available to them, and that is going to be the Galactic Republic. And we're going to be starting out with Ahsoka Tano, Jedi No More. Obviously from the core box, she brings 8 squad points with her and 3 force. She's a 9-3. So that 8-3, 9-3 is a very kind of baseline stat for a lot of primaries. She's got a really nice active ability in Force Speed. Her Fierce Protector is okay. Like, it's just okay. I'm not a huge fan of it, purely because a pin on her really negates her from being able to do anything, and she doesn't have any other synergy with any other affiliation whatsoever in her game. In fact, there is nothing on her card that is Galactic Republic specific. If we then take a look at her win rate, she's currently ranked 13th. We've had over 1,500 games with her, so it's a really good data set, as you'd expect from somebody in the core box. But with only a 47% win rate, I do feel like she could suffer from some of that core box syndrome, in that lots of newer players coming into the game maybe come in, use her first, are not as experienced, and therefore are more likely to lose the games. For me, she's just okay. I think if we're looking at Galactic Republic, she's probably a C tier, maybe even a D, because there's absolutely no synergy whatsoever there. But I'm going to put her at the high end of C tier. I think she's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with her, but in my opinion, there are just better options out there in terms of primaries right now in the game, specifically within that Galactic Republic role. Okay, then next up, guys, is somebody who is in Galactic Republic, but I don't think should be. It is, of course, Darth Vader Jedi Hunter. Yes, I know there's a whole argument going on about whether he should be there or not. He was released at a time when he had to be, because otherwise he wouldn't have worked. And whilst he does have the Galactic Empire and the Inquisitress tags, I feel like his home is really Galactic Empire. Sorry, Galactic Republic even, not Empire. Is Galactic Republic. I may have said Empire for a couple of those, and I meant Galactic Republic, so I do apologise. But this guy is so darn good. Why is he really good? Well, he actually has nothing in his kit that is specific for the Galactic Republic, but he benefits greatly from some of the secondaries, and actually a lot of the support units that you can bring along as well. Vader's Fury is absolutely brutal, but the really big one is his leadership, or his identity, sorry. Your hatred makes you powerful. With an allied character makes a melee attack as part of a combat action. After choosing a target, the attacking unit may suffer 2 damage. If it does, you add 3 dice to your attack roll. And especially with other units in the Galactic Republic, there are a lot of characters out there and a lot of units out there who can heal off the back of attacks. So the chances are that they're going to be able to heal that damage off as well. He's a 12-3 in terms of stamina and durability, which is absolutely monstrous. He's got the Sith Lord Strikes Back, where if he's wounded, he can make a dash and a 5 dice attack, and it's any kind of wound from an attack. So it's not just a melee attack like you see on some of the other characters. In terms of win rate and popularity, this guy has over 2,300 games and a win rate of 54%, putting him in 3rd place. Darth Vader Jedi Hunter is very good indeed, especially with the release of some of the other 3 cost, because he is 7. He only brings 7 squad points with him, so you are a little bit more restricted in terms of the makeup of who you can bring with him. He didn't come in his own squad pack, so he doesn't have that pre-built one. But put some ARF troopers in there with somebody like Captain Rex, so Captain Rex can move him up, plus the ARF troopers can put out the expose, or you can take him, with any other combination that add up to 7. For me, he's our first character that's going to go straight into that S tier. Okay then, so up next is a character who, whilst they don't share the actual name, cannot be used alongside Darth Vader for obvious reasons. Spoiler warning, he kind of is Darth Vader. Another core box character. He is another 7/4, so he brings some nice force with him. He's one of the few characters in the game who can actually make two attacks, two full attacks in a single activation with I'm going to end this. It does cost 2 force, however, and Galactic Republic are very, very force heavy when it comes to what they want to do. So you find yourself in a position where you're often holding that force back for Anakin to be able to use it. And then if he doesn't need it, then it's a bit of a pain because you've gone with everybody else. Or indeed, you do it and it doesn't do what you want it to do. He's 11/3 in terms of durability and stamina. Again, when it comes to his Longshanks rating, he is really, really low down. He's in 17th place, but the only 3 characters below him are Logray, Chief Chirper, and Leia Organa. And realistically, we don't have enough data on them to even analyse them properly yet. But, so he's almost sitting in last place with a 43% win rate. But again, I feel like he probably suffers from a little bit of that core box newness and people not really understanding him or really even understanding the game. This is where the fun begins. When a character in this unit wounds a primary or secondary unit, after the effect is resolved, move the struggle token 1 space towards your momentum token. This is huge. He is the only character in the game right now who can score points outside of the end of turn scoring. Then if it was a primary unit, each allied Galactic Republic character may recover, which is huge, absolutely huge. The problem I have with Anakin is, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, there is a better option than Anakin at 7 points, and it's Vader. We've just shown him. If Darth Vader Jedi Hunter wasn't in Galactic Republic, I feel like Anakin's value would be much higher. But I think once people realise what Vader can do, and yes, I'm going to end this, is great. But when Vader one-shots you anyway, it doesn't really matter. So for me, and this may be a contentious one, I'm going to be putting Anakin, he's going to go above Ahsoka. But for me, just swap that round, there are better options out there. He's perfectly fine if you want to bring him and play with him. He's a decent enough character, but there are better options out there, and that better option, especially in Galactic Republic, because you're not really going to be playing Anakin anywhere else, is absolutely going to be Darth Vader. Okay then, on to one of the other older primaries now. It feels weird saying this. It's another 8/3 in terms of squad points and force. He's got 10/3 stamina and durability. It is, of course, General Obi-Wan Kenobi. This guy is really, really good. He's got a couple of unique things that he can do here that really, really help. And for me, I really, really like him running alongside Darth Vader, and you'll see in a couple of you'll see why in a moment or so. First of all, hello there. 1 force and a jump, but then 3 dice to your attack roll is just crazy, crazy good force economy. So Uncivilized, if you're targeted by a range attack, you can gain a hunker token, and then they suffer 3 damage if they rolled 1 or more failures. But Patience for me is so good. When you reveal this unit's order card, if you have an order card in reserve, you may put that card on the top or bottom of your deck. If you do so, put this unit's order card in reserve. So first of all, that doesn't cost you an extra force to do. It's really, really good. So you can keep Obi-Wan in reserve. But not only that, when you put his card in reserve, so this works for both the top part of Patience and if you just pay a force normally to put him in reserve, he can recover 3 and jump. He has to do them in that order. That's important. So it's recover 3 and then jump. But remember back to all of those extra little bits of damage that you're going to take under Darth Vader's identity, Obi-Wan is a really good way of being able to get rid of some of those. Knowledge and defense. Allied units do not lose their hunker tokens when they become engaged, and can have hunkers while they are engaged. And can gain hunkers whilst they're engaged. When an allied Galactic Republic unit has one or more hunker tokens, it adds 1 die to its defense rolls against melee attacks. So even in melee, first of all, not only do you not lose them, but you actually get an extra defense dice from your hunker token as well. And that part's really good. And the second part is even better. After an attack targeting a character in an Allied Galactic Republic unit is resolved, that character's unit may remove all of its hunker tokens. If it does, one character in the unit may recover for each hunker token removed. Then each character that recovered may dash. It's crazy good. It is crazy good. So let's say your opponent, let's say you've got like coming up against a Magna Guard or something like that, and they triple push you off a point, but they don't do enough damage to hurt you. Great, you can heal off the damage, heal off any special conditions. Let's say you've got a pin, and then just move back onto the point. It makes them so sticky. In terms of his win rate on Longshanks, he's currently ranked 11th, so just into the lower half at a 49% win rate. But again, Obi-Wan, I keep saying Anakin. Obi-Wan was an on-release character, so I feel like he probably does struggle a little bit from that. So with all that said and done, guys, I still think Obi-Wan Kenobi is exceptionally good. He deserves an S tier, in my opinion. I'm personally going to put him above Vader, and I'm going to explain why. I think Vader is amazing when he brings Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan is really good irrespective of the other primary that you bring alongside him. So that's my reasoning behind that. Let's speed through some of these guys, because otherwise it's going to be a very long video. Up next, Jedi Master Luminara Unduli. Again, another 8-3. She's 9-3. Flow of the Force. Once per turn, when an enemy unit becomes wounded, after the effect is resolved, one allied character may dash, or when an enemy character wounds an allied unit, after the effect is resolved, a character in another allied unit may recover 3 times. And then her last little bit there is you may look at the top card of your order deck before revealing an order card or choosing to activate a unit from reserve. This, combined with Obi-Wan, is really good. You also see Luminara played out of, let's call it, affiliation a little bit there. In terms of win rates, she's actually much higher than what I thought she was going to be. She's currently ranked 7th with a 52% win rate. I think she is absolutely fine. I don't see anything wrong with her, really. Her movement isn't great, and her combat isn't great, but that's really not what she's there for. She is more of a supporting primary character, if you sort of catch my drift. So we are going to put in Jedi Master Luminara in that B tier. Perfectly fine, perfectly serviceable, no issues with them whatsoever. Okay then, guys, next up is going to be another Jedi Master, and that is Mace Windu. Coming in at a 6-4, so only bringing 6 squad points with him, but with the selection of 3-cost primary and secondary characters that you've got, and again, more and more are being added in, it's not too much of an issue for him. He's 11-3. His identity, this part is over. While a character in this unit is engaged, Allied Republic characters within range 5 have steadfast and protection. That is crazy, absolutely crazy. He also deals out a huge amount of damage. His Shatterpoint innate ability is really good. When we take a look at his charts on Longshanks, he's currently ranked 6th. 1,500 games, so not as many as others, but he hasn't been out as long, with a 53% win rate. For me, I still prefer the combination of Obi-Wan and Vader. I still think that is the premium, if you like, version of running Galactic Republic. But I still think that Mace Windu is a very, very good character indeed, and he's going to go up to A tier. I'd like to take a minute to thank the brand new sponsor of the channel, Leodis Games. Leodis are a great local gaming store in West Yorkshire. They stock all of your favourite MCP and Shatterpoint products, plus a huge range of other gaming systems. They also have an awesome gaming space where weekly events are held. We've already been running our MCP League that's coming into its 4th season. We've hosted a number of MCP events, and we'll be doing so for Shatterpoint as well. So hopefully we can see you guys there at some of the events in the future. There'll be a link down in the description below, and if you're looking for a place to get all of your hobbying purchases at a great price, then look no further than Leodis Games. Okay, then the last of our Jedi Masters, and this time it's one of the, or maybe the newest edition, Plo Koon. Again, he is another 8-3 in terms of squad points and force that he brings, and he's a 10-3 on his stamina and durability, so a little bit better in terms of survivability potentially. I know if we work together we will stay alive. At the start of this unit's activation, choose an allied Galactic Republic unit. Each character in the chosen unit may dash. Then if it was a trooper or a Padawan, one character in this unit may also dash. Obviously, he has Padawan Ahsoka Tano in his box, hence why that is in there. He's got a force push, which is not to be sniffed at. Just being able to yeet somebody off a point means that he's one of a few characters that can influence 2 points within a single turn, which is really, really nice. He's got a deflect, and then we can do this a simple way or the difficult way. While this unit is not wounded, when another allied Galactic Republic character within range 3 is targeted by an attack, this unit may gain Expose. If it does, the defending character may use this unit's expertise chart during the attack. Then, after the attack is resolved, if the defending character was a trooper or Padawan, one character in this unit may dash towards the attacker. So it's some movement for him. It's a lot more defensive prowess than what the normal troopers are going to get with all of his dice manipulation on his expertise. But he does gain an Expose, which is kind of a downside to it. Longshanks wise, we've only had 185 games with Jedi Master Plo Koon, but right now he's sitting at the top of the tree with a 55% win rate. But 185 games versus Count Dooku in second place, who is, over 3,000. So we have to bear that in mind, that the number of games are quite limited, and most of those games are going to have happened on TTS, which tend to be more experienced players. I do genuinely think that once he's out in the open, people start using him at events, you're going to see his win rate drop. I don't think to a bad space whatsoever. But personally for me, I think he's absolutely fine. I just think he's got a lot of competition in Galactic Republic. I do like what he does. I'm really eager to take him out and test him. I've had a couple of games with him on TTS, but no games with him in person yet. He doesn't really fit into my play style, that whole sort of supporty type piece. I like my primaries to be able to walk up and smash the living daylight out of somebody, which Plo Koon doesn't really do. So because of that, I am going to put him into B tier, but I am going to put him, I'll just get rid of this a second, I am going to put him just above Luminara, so right at the top end of B tier, so B plus you could call it. Okay, so rounding out our Galactic Republic is going to be the only non-force user, actually, across all of the Galactic Republic leaders, and it is Queen Padme Amidala. Obviously, she comes with her handmaidens, and that's where some of her synergy works. So Royal Command is Galactic Republic, but coordinated fire that she brings is only in the handmaiden units, but it is 2 damage, which is very, very nice indeed. She's also a crack shot, so she's got sharpshooter 2, which is pretty good. And when she makes a focus, she gets to make a dash as well, so good action economy. Servant of the People, while this unit is not wounded and while one or more characters in this unit are contesting an active objective, if this unit's active stance is faith in diplomacy, Allied Galactic Republic supporting characters can contest the same active objective even while they are wounded. So pretty good. You're allowing your Galactic Republic supporting characters to still be able to score UVPs, which is nice. And then whilst this unit is not wounded, if this unit's active stance is aggressive negotiations, supporting Galactic Republic characters within range 4 add 1 die to their attack roll. So again, increasing, you know, the amount of damage that they can do. Again, she is an 8/3. She is a 9/3. Again, that sort of staple for most primaries there. When we take a look at Longshanks, she's currently in 10th place, so right in the middle. 551 games with a 50% win rate. I would imagine her win rate to stay sort of around about there. For me, again, she's not really a favourite character of mine. I'm not a fan of the Handmaidens, which means that I'm less of a fan of Amidala, because you need to take the Handmaidens and Sabe to really make her work. I prefer taking the Clone Troopers and your Rexes and Codys and everybody else. So again, just my opinion on this one, guys. But for me, she is going to go in C tier. Actually, no, do you know what? She's going to go at the very bottom end of B tier. I think she can work absolutely fine, but I think there are definitely other characters in the Galactic Republic that are better than her. And apologies, I didn't get rid of this, but there she is, just at the bottom of B tier there. Okay, then, guys. So we're getting on to our Separatist Alliance characters or leaders, and starting off is the Separatist leader himself, Count Dooku, leader of the Separatist army, letting him dash himself and then any other Separatist Alliance character within range 3. Surely You Can Do Better makes him so tanky, and then Twice the Pride, Double the Fall is really good because it works really better with Surely You Can Do Better. Now you might be thinking, Rich, that's a lot of force that he's spending there, but Brave but Foolish once per turn. When a primary unit or secondary unit is wounded by an enemy effect, after which resolve, refresh 2 force. Then choose a supporting unit that is Separatist Alliance. One character in the unit may dash or make a 5 dice attack. This is so useful for just making sure that those points that your opponent were going to score, they don't get to take, or just making an attack and just knocking them out of the way. He is a 7/4 when it comes to squad points and force, so he's a little bit more limited in terms of what he can bring, but he can take the Magna Guard with him, and then a 4 threat secondary, so that's all he needs, or a 4 cost, 10/3. This guy, you put him on a point, nobody's getting him off. His combat tree is absolutely amazing. Right now, in terms of standings, he is in second place with a 54% win rate, but he has almost 3,200 games played. For me right now, one of, if not the best primaries in the entire game when you look at him as a whole, what he does. For me, he's going straight up to the very top of S tier. I really like this guy, and I think he is very good indeed. Okay, next up is going to be General Grievous, another 8/3, this time, however, with 11/3. He's got some really nice things. He can get off an attack turn 1 with all of the movement shenanigans that he's got. Another fine addition to my collection. When a character in this unit wounds an enemy unit, after the effect is resolved, that character may recover twice. Then, if the wounded unit was a force user, refresh 2 force. So again, he's got a lot of things that he's going to be spending force on, but he has a way of being able to recover that force or refresh that force mid-order deck, if you like. He's got some really good synergy with battle droids. He is there on the board to murder things. Because of that, I really like him. When we take a look at his Longshanks rating, Games played 2,567, 53% rate, putting him in 4th place at the moment. For me, he just misses out on S tier, and he probably misses out to Mace Windu as well. I think when you look at overall, Mace Windu just brings a little bit more than Grievous, but Grievous is egregious, you would say. Yeah, really like him. Think he's very, very good indeed. Okay, rounding out our Separatist alliance, but also kind of the segue into the Dathomirians. It is, of course, Asajj Ventress, Sith Assassin. Now, I think, before we jump into her, currently ranked 15th, over 2,000 games, 45% win rate. I think that doesn't do her justice whatsoever. She can get from one side of the board to the other so easily. She's another 8-3, she's a 9-3. Dathomirian Dexterity is a jump, cost of force, but she can do it twice. She's got a force push, she's got riposte, she's got slip away, which can be really, really good, again, at being able to capture a second victory point in a single turn. And then Sith Assassin, when a character in this unit wounds an enemy unit, after the effect is resolved, the character may recover 3 times. If it wounded a primary or secondary unit, it may also may advance or jump. If it wounded a primary unit, refresh 2 force. So if you wound a primary unit with her, you can recover 3, you can jump or advance, and then refresh 2 force. She's so maneuverable, she can get about the board. Again, as I mentioned, I don't think her Longshanks ratings do her justice at all. I really, really like her. I think a problem is that she's up against stiff competition in Separatist Alliance with Grievous and Dooku. I also think she's up against stiff competition in Dathomir with Mother Talzin and Lord Maul. But with all that said, I still think she's a very, very serviceable character. Even though she's in the core box, I think she's still very, very good. I'm going to put her in B tier, just behind Plo Koon. If you haven't played her for a while, try her out, play her again. She's still very, very good indeed. And speaking of the aforementioned Lord Maul, he may be my favourite, or at least in the top 2 or 3 favourite primary characters in the entire game. This guy's an 8-3. He's also an 11-2. That 2 can hurt him, but he murders things, and he murders things real good. He's got a force speed for 1 power, no place to run, so it's a pull towards and then giving them exposed. Revenge, I must have revenge. So he's got that reactive ability, a little bit like what Vader has, but this is only against melee attacks. But then his leadership sustained by rage. When he's not wounded and he would be spending force to use an ability, he may suffer damage equal to the cost of the ability instead. For every 3 damage this unit has, characters in this unit add 1 die to their melee attack rolls. And then for each injured token, he adds 3 dice to his attack roll. So if he's got taken 1 wound, so he's got 1 injured token, and he's taken 3 damage, he's going to be adding 4 dice into his attack rolls. Again, he is an early box character, but even saying that, he actually does lead the way in core box characters. So he is rank 8th. 3,330 games, so a lot of games played, 51% win rate. I'm really, really looking forward to seeing more around his Shadow Collective and how that can potentially come into the game. He's one of my default leaders when I play Dathomir, Mother Talzin being the other one, obviously. He does work really well with those Mandalorians that came with him in the box, but he doesn't have any other synergy, really. But what he has in his favour is, because he isn't using Force for a lot of the things that he does, that force that he brings can be used by everybody else. So he brings a lot of force economy. I think he is a very, very good character indeed. I still absolutely love him. He's going to go in A tier. He's going to go just behind Mace Windu, but very, very much deserved in that A tier spot. Okay, the real leader of the Dathomirians, Mother Talzin. Again, one of my favourite primaries in the game right now. Obscuring Shadows. One character may dash, which is nice. She is again an 8/3. She is also 10/3 when it comes to stamina and durability. She's got a couple of really cool things. Life Drain can be really good and this is board wide. After a Dathomirian makes an attack, if the defender suffered 1 or more damage, that allied Dathomirian character may recover, which can be really nice to either recover themselves or anybody else within range 2 around them. Worth noting that that is a reactive ability, so if you use that and she is wounded, it is going to cost a 4, so just to point that out. Manipulating Hand can be really clutch sometimes just to get somebody off a point. And then Wrath of the Great Mother, once per turn when the enemy character wounds another allied unit. After the effect is resolved, one character in this unit may dash and then may make a 5 dice ranged attack targeting that enemy character. That can do so much. The dash is omnidirectional, which is really, really nice. So even just getting her back onto a point, or the attack can be absolutely brutal. Again, it's worth pointing out she has to make that dash to be able to make the attack. That's really, really important. Huge, huge synergy with the Dathomirians. She does suffer a little bit in the fact that there's really only ever going to be one other primary on the board, one secondary and one support unit that are going to benefit from all the things, but they benefit greatly from it. In terms of Longshanks, over 1,500 games played, 53% win rate, currently ranked 5 in terms of that win rate. I absolutely love her. She's one of my go-to when I haven't played for a while. I want a bit of a catch-up game, warm-up game. She is in there. I know that these are not completely aligned to Longshanks, but I don't care. Mother Talzin for me is going to go at the very top end of A tier. I'm going to put her above Mace Windu. I think she just brings a little bit more in terms of what she does, and when we get some extra characters, I think she's going to be even better. Hopefully maybe some Night Brothers or something like that. But yeah, really, really like her. Absolutely solid primary. Okay, guys, next up, the third Anakin Skywalker on our list, Darth Vader, this time the Emperor's Servant version. So we are going into the Galactic Empire. Obviously, brand new box, only just been released in the past month or so, depending on where you are in the world. You might not yet have your hands on them, but plenty of games have been played over on TTS. He's in a weird position that he is a 7, he brings 7 squad points with him, but he's only bringing 3 force with him. He's a 12/3 in terms of stamina and durability. He's got some nice things on him. You cannot hide forever at the end of this unit's activation. If no character in this unit wounded an enemy unit during that activation, and if this unit's order card is not in the order deck or in reserve, shuffle its order card into your order deck. So it kind of recycles him, but so you get more activations with him, but you don't get any more force to do all the things that you want to do. So it's kind of and you have to do it. It's not a may. So it's a little bit weird. You can find yourself in a position where you've got him again and you don't get to, refresh your force, things like that. So yeah, it's a little bit of give and take. It is a huge amount of damage, don't get me wrong. In terms of rankings on Longshanks, once again, because he's a brand new character, we have to take these with a pinch of salt. Primarily, these are going to be TTS games that they've been played with. But 104 games, 50% win rate. He's got some good synergy with Galactic Empire. I think the jury's still out on this version of Darth Vader. He's a lot more nuanced than the other version. He isn't just move forward and murder things. Whilst he can do that, I do think he's a little bit more nuanced, especially with the Stormtrooper and the Stormtrooper Sergeant that he comes with, because right now that's probably going to be your default unless you choose to take some Inquisitors with him as well. But I think overall, he's pretty solid. Again, I think he's one of those characters that could get better over time, but we are talking about a snapshot right now. So I am going to put him in B tier, and I'm going to put him just behind Plo Koon. Again, I could be proven wrong with him. I think he's probably got some good potential. But right now, because of the limited number of characters that he's got access to, because he only brings 3 Force with him, he does struggle a little bit. And it can be good, but it can also be really bad that you have to refresh his order card and put it back in there. So, yeah, that's where he's sitting. Okay, next up, Grand Inquisitor Fallen Jedi. This is kind of, he can be Galactic Empire, but he's also Inquisitorious as well. He is an 8-4. in terms of squad points and force, 9-3 when it comes to durability and stamina. Clearly you are a poor student when an allied Inquisitorious character wounds an enemy unit. After the effect is resolved, one allied Inquisitorious character may refresh 2. Then if the wounded unit was a force user, refresh 2 force. My biggest problem with the Grand Inquisitor is he just isn't very good. I've played a few games with him and not enjoyed his playstyle whatsoever. 918 games played on Longshanks, only a 45% win rate. So only Anakin right now, who's had any number of games, is any worse. But again, Anakin suffers from that core box fatigue, not fatigue, but that core box reduction in win rate. Right now, guys, I really don't like the Grand Inquisitor, and because of that, he is going to be the first D tier in our primary list. Like, if you wanted to take full Galactic Empire alongside Darth Vader, then maybe it could work, but I just don't think he's very good, and I don't think the characters he brings along with him, maybe other than one of the support characters, are very good either. So unfortunately, guys, we usually end up with 1 or 2 in there, but he is going to be our first entry into the D tier. Okay, fast forwarding, or I suppose really rewinding, if you like, a fair few years, going into the Rebel Alliance, Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker. And again, another character who hasn't been out very long. He's another character that is only bringing 7 squad points and only has 3 force with him. However, Return of the Jedi, at the start of this unit's activation, one character in this unit may jump, then refresh a force. That's pretty cool. So yeah, that kind of is the reason why he only brings 3 force with him. He's an 11-3. I am a Jedi like my father before me. While this unit's order card is in the order deck or in reserve, it has immunity expose. While this unit's order card is not in the order deck, it has immunity pin. He doesn't have anything in his get-up, in his makeup, that really works with the Rebel Alliance. He is a little bit of a standalone character. So he's another character I think you could kind of look at and say he's almost a bit of, you know, a Darth Maul, where you can play him elsewhere. The problem is, because he is going to be a different era, there is far few models out there that he can, or units and characters out there that he can take in his strike team right now. So you are going to be limited really with Rebel Alliance characters to take with him. But I think there's a lot going on with Luke, and I think he's going to end up being a really good character. Right now, in terms of Longshanks, ranked 14th, but again, only 105 games, only 46% win rate. But he's been out less than a month. Like, they're going to go up or settle down or whatever else. Maybe the character with the single most potential in the entire sort of tier list that we're doing right now, because I think he could be very, very good moving forward, especially if we get more characters who synergize with him. That could be really, really good indeed. So for me, when it comes to ranking, I'm going to put Luke. I'm going to put him. I'm kind of torn between top end of B. I think we're going to put him just above Dad in B tier. So just behind Plo Koon and just above his dad. Again, spoiler alert for anyone that hasn't watched the movies. Okay, so we've had one sibling. Let's jump over and take a look at the other one, and that is going to be Leia Organa, Freedom Fighter. So she's Rebel Alliance, she's Endor, she's Scout, she's Warrior. She's another 7-3 character, which again can be a little bit of a struggle. She's got a couple of things. Unexpected allies, allied Rebel Alliance units have the Ewok tag, or allied Ewok units have the Rebel Alliance tag. I do really like this. Again, it has very little impact right now, but moving forward, when we get more characters rounding out these Rebel Alliance, that could be really, really good to bring, or to almost mix and match some of the primaries, secondaries, and support units being able to benefit from each other's things. Again, I think her stock is going to go up. Right now for me, again, if we take a look at Longshanks, 39 games played, 37% win rate. It's irrelevant data at the moment, so we don't really take much into it. I think she's going to be absolutely fine, perfectly serviceable. For her, I'm going to put her just behind Dad in terms of what she's going to be able to do in the game. Okay, the first of our little meth Care Bears, as Neil from Leodis Games put on my invoice for anyone that saw that. These guys are in a strange place. They're very, very front loaded in terms of they want to get off the mat really, really quick, win the game very, very quickly indeed. Just to check, he is another 7-3. So again, another 7-3, this time with 10-2. So again, struggling a little bit on that durability, and that's why these guys want to get off the mark really quick, win that first struggle and press the advantage and potentially win that second struggle. Bright Tree Defender, while this unit is not wounded, when another allied Ewok unit becomes wounded, after the effect is resolved, roll an attack die. On a crit or a hit result, each character in this unit may reposition and make a 5-dice attack. On a fail or an expertise, each character in this unit may dash and heal 2, or recover 2, sorry. I think he's pretty solid. He's got a lot of really, really good synergy, adding attack rolls. He's got that stealthy approach. Bolatos, just take a pin or an expose for 1 force. Really, really good. And then mobilize the village. While this unit is not wounded, characters in another allied Ewok unit. Oh yeah, we've already done to that. I'm sorry, Sharp Stick, impact 2, and he negates protection, which is very, very interesting. That's the first time we've seen, I believe we've seen where a character can take something away from them. So it'll be really interesting to see moving forward. Do we get that with Steadfast and that sort of thing? I potentially think we could. I really like the Ewoks. Again, I think they're going to get better and better when they add more Rebel Alliance characters in there with Leia Organa, that sort of thing. But I really, really like Chief Chirper. I think he does some really good things. For me, I'm going to put him just above Leia Organa in that B tier. Perfectly serviceable, perfectly fine. Okay, let's move on to the other leader of the Ewoks. This is Logray, Bright Tree Shaman. This time is going to be an 8-3, so bringing the slightly more expensive support units with him. Inspiring Presence, Elder's Command, again, that stealthy approach. Protective Ward, so whereas Chief Chirper was adding attacks, this guy's going to add defense dice. So again, whether you're in melee and engaged or at range, you're going to get an extra 1 die. And then Secret Ingredients, each time an allied Ewok character wounds an enemy unit, roll an attack die. On a crit or hit result, refresh Force. On a fail or expertise, each character in the attacking unit may dash. These guys are super fast, they're super agile, they get about the board. Again, he's got the lowest win rate of all characters in the entire game, but take that with an absolute pinch of salt. I think he's going to be very, very good. And I actually prefer Logray to Chief Chirper because he can bring those 4-cost support units with him. So because of that, and this may surprise some people, he is going to go into A tier. Again, I think he's going to be really good. I'm going to have some fun playing with my little meth Care Bears. And rounding it out is the notorious hunter himself, Cad Bane. You guys know I absolutely love myself some Cad Bane. He's an 8/3, but I'll take on any job for the right price. With an allied character wounds an enemy unit, after the effect is resolved, refresh Force, and 1 character in this unit may heal. Then, if the allied character is a bounty hunter, refresh another Force. No one gets between me and my job is absolutely brutal for just being able to not only finish off some bigger units, but also bypass a lot of the reactive abilities that they have as well. Or it just gets him further up the board. His expertise tree is so good at both range and melee. How about you step aside? Can be brutal. So you're either giving out a expose or a strain, or your opponent has to walk off a point and then get a disarm. And then he's got the rocket boots as well. So he gets around a lot. Again, he's got that scoundrel tag, so maybe we're going to see some more synergy. He's another character for me that works or can work almost in any strike team. I think he can take a multitude of different characters with him. I've played him along Cad Bane in Separatists, where I'll use... Sorry, I've played him along Count Dooku in Separatist, where I'll use Cad Bane to be able to take... sorry, did I say he was an 8/3? He's actually a 9/2. Apologies. He is a 9/2, so it doesn't bring much force, but because of that refresh, he's really, really good. I like playing him with Dooku, and then I use Cad Bane to take both Kalani and the B2s, because he does bring that 9 squad points with him. But you can bring along his bounty hunters as well. Then what I'll typically do is put Jango Fett in with Count Dooku. It works really, really well. I've had a lot of success playing that way. I absolutely love me some Cad Bane. He's one of my favourites, and I've said that about so many now. I don't quite think he is good enough to go into S tier. To give you an idea of his win rate, he's currently ranked 12 with a 48% win rate, so maybe not everybody else has had as much success with him as I have. But I think for me, he is going to go into A tier, and I am going to put him just above Lord Maul. So behind Talzin, behind Mace Windu. But the fact he brings 9 squad points with him can mean he's just absolutely brutal and has a huge amount of flexibility in terms of who he can bring. And he's right now the only character who can bring a 5-threat secondary and a 4-threat support. So yeah, really, really like him. And there we go, guys. That is my finish list, ranking all of the primaries. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. I'm sure I've upset some of you. Don't really care. No, I do care. Let me know in the comment section below what you think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Am I missing a trick with some of these? Have I ranked some of them way, way too high? Do you really love yourself some Grand Inquisitor and you feel aggrieved that I've put him down in D tier? I think what's really nice is I only have 3 characters in the game right now who are, in my opinion, subpar. I think almost every single primary in this game are viable, and they bring a different play style with them. So even though we've only got 20, it feels like there's so much variety across the board, and it's only going to get better and better. So let me know down in the comment section below what you think, good, bad, or ugly. Guys, I want to give a big shout out to all of our Patreons. Huge thank you for supporting the channel. And if you do want to help support the channel, you can do so from as little as £1 a month. There'll be a link down in the description below. But you don't have to subscribe on Patreon to help support the channel. You can do so just by liking, subscribing, sharing, leaving a comment. It all really helps. If you could subscribe, it'd be really appreciated. Also, head on over to our Discord. We're going to be announcing our next Shatterpoint event very soon on there as well. I'm going to be staggering the Shatterpoint and the MCP events, just so I'm not doing everything all at once. So mid-March is when that one will be starting. So again, link down in the description below for the Discord. And as always, guys, it leaves me with just enough time to say stay well, keep safe, and until next time, may the Force be with you.